Oh my gosh. What up, Carla? How are you? I don't know if y'all were here for the stream this morning, but I ended up smoking too much and I had to stop because I thought I was gonna throw up, but I didn't, thankfully. Absolutely, Rain, it sure is. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're doing good. W Sunset, for sure. Thanks, Rain. You too. I will, Foxy boy, I will. I will. Not when I have a perfectly good pack of, you know, I can't just throw these away. They're like the best. It is bad. It is. It is. I'm gonna at least start getting on those Zins, you know. Yeah, I wonder how many people are here because of, you know, smoking cigs. No, you're absolutely right, Foxy Boy 67. And, I gotta stop. You're totally right. I don't want to get cancer. Something that kind of comforts me is, I've heard like in really polluted countries, like with bad air pollution, it's almost like some of these places, it's like breathing in their air is like the equivalent of smoking like a pack a day or something. And it's really no excuse to smoke, but I'm also like, those people don't even have a choice. Like, they're just exposed to this, to that BS, and like, I actually can just stop. But yeah, I have a feeling this will be my last pack. Hello, Brianna. We're just chilling. How are you? What's the deal with it? No, I think a lot of these guys, judging by all the American flags, this is probably a veterans cemetery, so I mean, we can get out and look around, why not figure out what's happening out here. Like, you can always kind of tell. Oops. Alright. Hey Elijah, how are you? I'm glad you're okay. Good, I mean, I'm glad you're good. Wow, look at this. They got married in 1966, and Sharon L. still going strong. But her husband passed in 2014. Here's Chester H. Staff Sergeant, U.S. Army, 1922 to 1979. Yeah, don't they, oh, like this guy was a Mason. Ward Whedon, 1922 to 2002, World War II. Wow. Yeah, it's weird, I guess. Bro, I don't know, I just like graveyards. I'm pretty good now. For some reason, like, earlier I was just not feeling good, but I'm feeling a lot better now. But yeah, when I was like a kid, there were a lot of World War II vets still around, and like now most of them are gone, I think. just crazy. Yeah, but I remember like seeing them at my school, and like, or just hearing about them, and or meeting them, and turns out they were in World War II, and like it was cool to like meet them in person. Yeah, and another reason I like graveyards is literally just the peace of it. Like, no one really comes out here to graveyards, Like, maybe if you have a loved one here, you might come visit every once in a while. And, yeah, my intention is never to, like, disturb their rest, of course, but just to hang out with them for a little bit. And maybe people tend to avoid graveyards because it might bring on a sense of existential dread. But I guess I really don't fear death that much. I kind of fear getting old. But even then, I feel like when we're all old, if everything like moves in the right direction, I think perhaps it'll be less painful, and they'll have like technological advancements to make aging like not as painful and lonely as it is now. Not all old people are lonely, of course, but I think they all go through pain, and yeah, I have a little bit of fear for that, but here I am smoking cigs. They always say that ages you, and it does. Oh, it does. But oh boy, are they tasty. And boy, do they make me feel nice. But I'm gonna give them up. Yeah, I think after this pack, I'm just gonna switch to Zens and try not to go overboard with those either, because people get really overboard. Go really overboard with Zens. Yeah, I know, I can. I am like that. I do like to go cold turkey on stuff. Yeah, I probably shouldn't even switch to the Zens, because it's just opening up another can of worms. Mm, I don't know, like, if you can learn to enjoy a graveyard, I mean, there's so many of them, and, like, yeah, they're just everywhere. And, yeah, if you learn to, like, enjoy them, you're in luck because of that. Yeah, overall, just really peaceful and quiet, and yeah, I like them. Probably depends on the graveyard. Like, there might be some that are, like, scary, but I've never really been to a graveyard where I was, like, scared. Like, the only time I was really scared was, like, this little tiny graveyard I went to, but I wasn't scared because of, like, ghosts or spirits or haunting. It was, like, just the neighbors. It just, like, other people. It was, like, just, like, really isolated rural type of graveyard, and, like, it was just really run down, and, like, you know, the neighboring houses looked kind of sus, so I was a little afraid just because of that. But I haven't been to a graveyard where I'm, like, scared, like, oh, this place feels haunted and scary. But yeah, let's check this out. This is my EMF reader. And we have not a lot of activity. They're all resting, you know? And we could even walk around and see if we can get a reading. That was just my phone, I think. Yeah, the thing with these is, like, they pick up on... Oh, there's a car coming. Let me get out of the way here. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if the EMF reader isn't reading much, we're probably all at peace, I would think. But that one graveyard I went to, we were getting very strong readings. Like, makes me think, like, oh, they're restless or something when I pick them up on the EMF. There, like, if they're not here, they're probably resting somewhere nice. there's not as many gravestones over here, but yeah, we're still getting this. No reading. Yeah, chilling. They're all at rest, all peaceful, I think. Didn't really walk around, but hey, we're vibing. Maybe we will walk around again, alright. I feel like a weirdo moving this thing, but it was just my phone again. See, when you hold the phone closer, these look like very new gravestones, so perhaps they're still hanging around. But it doesn't seem that way. Yep. But I think what happens sometimes when you like call them, sometimes those pull up like, but I don't really want to do that. I feel like if they're not here, they're just resting. Resting. Like to me, when I see, oh wow, this is like freshly dug. Yeah, when I see like activity on the EMF meter at a graveyard, it almost makes me think like, oh, there's like something they want to tell me, or not me specifically, but like maybe their family, like maybe, you know, their cause of death isn't what everyone thinks it is, type of thing. And I don't really have any way of communicating with them right now. I'm not psychic, and I don't have any equipment for that. But it is nice to be walking around, seeing, you know, no activity, and it just tells me they're all at peace resting. Ronald Eckhart, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Air Force, Korea, 1935 to 2017. Bro is chilling. Bro does not want to be hanging around the graveyard, you know? None of them do. They all seem to be at peace. Here's another Freemason. I forget how big that is. Spirit box on my phone. Oh yeah, Neil Chapman, Master Sergeant. Yeah, Yeah, I've heard of that. Although, I don't know if I would be able to use it and stream at the same time. I would have to get... I mean, yeah, I don't know how legit they are, but, what's his face? Can't remember. Someone on the Ghost Brothers. He does that. He uses like an app on his YouTube channel, and the thing I don't like about spirit boxes in general is it's sometimes hard to tell what they're actually saying. You know, like maybe it's better to be left it to interpretation, perhaps, but yeah, there's like other... It would be cool to kind of communicate with spirits, though. But yeah, maybe I'll just do the spirit box thing, you know? That would be fun. I don't know why I can't remember Bro's name. Me and my friend interviewed him. Damn. Anyways, yeah, it would be kind of fun to talk to ghosts and stuff. Maybe now that it's like dark, so I'll pull up. Does that make a difference if it's dark? There's more activity at nighttime. I don't know. Just a little something. But like if we were to go to like a haunted house, this thing would be going off. I know a few places that are haunted, but I don't know, I feel like even the ghosts and stuff that, you know, are hanging around and they're not at peace, they're probably like at their old house where they used to live. Like that's the stereotype. Or they're just at some place they frequented a lot in their life. Like it seems like graveyards are typically actually kind of like they don't have a lot of ghost activity. Unless you actually like call them out, I think, which I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it might be like disturbing their rest, perhaps. Anyways, it's a nice night out. Really nice night. Some ducks, perhaps migrating, perhaps just vibing. They are flying east. But I thought migration was like south. Nonetheless, they're a vibe. They really add to the atmosphere of this nice, peaceful summer night at the graveyard. You really can't beat this. You really can't. At least if you're like a doomer. This like is peak doomer. Well, not exactly. There's a lot of debate on what a doomer is. This guy on TikTok was like basically like gatekeeping being a doomer. He was like, well, you can't really be a doomer if you don't live like on a commie block. And bro just sent me pictures of like a literal like complex, like concrete, massive commie block building. And I was like, yeah, dude, I mean, you are really doomer. Like, you are doomer to a T. Bro's picture was like Wojak. This guy beats me. And then he sent me a doomer playlist. I'm like, wow, this guy's legendary. Nonetheless, strange thing to gatekeep, but, you know, not everyone can be a doomer, but I don't think it has to be so rigid. Like, yes, the first time I was exposed to like Wojak Doomer content, from what I remember, was like Doomer's Friday Night, and bro lived in like a little crappy like studio apartment in that video, I think, but he was in the States. So I don't think you have to be in Russia, like literally in Russia, in like public, in their like public housing skyscrapers. You know, we used to have those, like, we still have some, I think. What are they called? They're just like those big buildings that are like public housing, and they even like bulldozed a bunch of them down because they just became like infested with crime, a lot of them. Which it's like, it just seems like such a waste of resources to like build those massive buildings and then just bulldoze them down. Like, couldn't you just like hire more security or something? Because people would get like robbed in the stairwells and stuff. Like, and you're like in these cramped corridors, and I think people probably get, you know, just annoyed with each other, just like having to live so close to people, just like stacked on top of each other. I don't think I would mind. I think I could enjoy that as long as I have my own little room. I wouldn't like getting robbed, of course. That would suck. But living in a tiny little studio, like up in a concrete building, and like it's a really ugly building, but you know, you have your own little room and it's really cheap. Like, say it's only like $400 a month or something wild, and yeah, I don't know. If it was actually like safe, that would be pretty cool. But yeah. Yeah, I was looking at like Halloween decorations in Home Depot the other day. There are some pretty cool ones. There's like this one called like the Grave Robber, and bro was like as tall as me, had like a really messed up, scary looking face. I'm like, I wonder what like a grave robber actually looks like. Like a modern grave robber. Like, who would even do that in the modern age? Like, would it just be like some like normal looking zoomer? Or would it look like the guy, this like Halloween decoration from Home Depot? I feel like they would look pretty gnarly if you're if you're gonna get into that line of work. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if there is anything to rob out of graves nowadays. Like, because I feel like maybe people were like more like superstitious back in the day, and they would probably like be like, hey, like bury me with all my gold, because if you bury me with it, maybe I can like take it to the afterlife, buy some stuff with it. I don't know what was going through their heads, but when I think of like grave robbers, I think of like people back in like the 1800s, like the Wild West and stuff like that. I've never heard of like grave robbers in the modern day. Maybe I'll look into that. It's probably just a bunch of people on like meth or something. Like, oh, I'll sell the skeletons online on the dark net. I don't know. It is kind of crazy though if you just like take a shovel and dig a few feet, you'll just like expose a body. It is a weird thought. Yeah, I think the most that probably happens at graveyards nowadays is you probably just have like at nighttime, probably just sometimes have like a lone doomer like me just hanging out, or maybe I've heard like people, like certain teenagers and stuff, or just kids will like, they just find it kind of kinky. You know what I mean. And I heard that's a big problem for like, what do you call the people that watch graveyards? That would be an awesome job. Maybe that's what I should do. I don't know if they really need that anymore though, because like, yeah, I just can't see there being grave robbers nowadays. Maybe. I'd like to go to one of those graveyards that has like the bells. Those bells they used to install, like, 'cause they would get scared, like, oh, like, what if we accidentally bury someone alive type of thing. Which I guess actually happened in Haiti a lot. Maybe still does, where like they give them like a certain drug. Yeah, I'm pretty good, Brianna. Thanks for hanging out. But how are you? But you know, I am just sitting here in a graveyard at night talking about grave robbers. I mean, that doesn't seem normal, but hey, we're out here just enjoying life. Doing what I like to do. And yeah, no, it would be a really awesome job to like even just do like groundskeeping or something in the graveyard and just watching over it. That would be a super cool job. Some graveyards will have like little houses. Yeah, it's a vibe. It would be a super vibe to like live next to a graveyard. I guess actually like real estate next to graveyards is actually like lower a lot of the time. Just like when there's like a house that someone died in, that'll like decrease the value of it. And I don't know how it is out here in Ohio, but in California, there's like a rule where like you have to tell tenants and buyers about like any deaths that happen in the house within like a certain time frame, like say 10 years. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, it'll like lower real estate values. And to me, living next to a graveyard would be really cool. Living in a house where someone was like murdered or something, yeah, I'm gonna probably want a little discount there. Of course, I'd enjoy the discount on a house next to a graveyard. But yeah, if the market didn't say otherwise, I would almost consider paying more to live next to a graveyard. Anyways, I guess I'm just lucky in that. But we're gonna wrap in for the night. Thanks for tuning in. It's been an awesome 45 minutes. Wow. That 45 minutes went by scary fast, so wow. Anyways, see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.